This resource is the first in a 4-part series on test taking. Part 1 provides an overview of test taking, looking at questions to ask to maximize studying effectiveness, and general test taking tips. Part 2 explores test anxiety, defining it and its effects, and ways to minimize the anxiety. Part 3 looks at strategies for taking specific types of tests. Part 4 considers what happens if you are not successful on a test. How can you recover from a test failure? We will explore tests holistically. What types of questions could you see on a test? What questions should you consider when preparing to study for the exam? What questions should you ask about the exam itself? What are some general tips for any type of exam? And what is the one key to test-taking success? There are a number of different formats for test questions. Each of these formats has their own purpose and techniques for success. Matching questions contain 2 columns of words or phrases. The student must then match an item from one list to its corresponding item in the second list. Matching questions tend to be very fact-based and are often used to check vocabulary. True-false questions check the ability to determine if statements are true or false. These questions often also check reading skills, because the reason a statement is false may not be obvious. Multiple choice questions contain a general statement or problem, and then provide multiple possible ways to complete the statement. These questions often are a way to understand a student's thinking process, depending on the option selected. Short answer questions, or fill in the blank, leave words or short phrases out of a statement. The student must then supply the correct option, either by selecting from a given word bank or strictly from memory. Essay questions test broader knowledge. A writing prompt is given, and the student must craft an essay that answers the question. Students are often required to provide supporting reasons and facts to support their statements. Essay questions may be short form, 1 paragraph, or longer as required by the instructor. There are questions you can ask your instructor to help you prepare for an exam. Is there a study sheet? Perhaps the instructor will provide a list of topics to be covered by the exam. This allows you to focus on the important topics, rather than having to study all the material. Will there be a review session? This provides students with feedback from the instructor on the important material. What is the point value of the test? If a test is a smaller point value, it will not count as highly toward your final grade. This eases your stress level. There are also questions you can ask specifically about the exam to help you prepare. What types of questions will be on the test? The techniques for matching tests are different than the technique for essay tests, for example. The type of questions will often help you focus what you need to study. How long is the test? How many questions will there be? This might help you predict the types of questions to be asked. Is there a time limit on the test? This helps you pace yourself when actually taking the exam. Will there be any special instructions? For example, is it open notes? Should you have any special supplies, pen or pencil, calculator, etc.? Read the directions. Maybe you have to choose 4 questions to complete out of 8 options. Maybe you have to write your answers on a separate answer sheet. You should also quickly read over the entire test before starting work. Now you know what to expect. It also lets you plan your time. For example, maybe you need to finish the multiple choice section quickly, so you leave yourself enough time to complete an essay question. Make sure you write your name. You did the work, you may as well get credit for it. Also, try your best to write legibly. Some instructors will mark answers incorrect if they cannot read them. Ignore the pace of your classmates. You do not get extra points for being the first one done, so work at your own pace. Just make sure you work consistently enough to finish in the time limit. If you have questions during the exam, quietly ask the instructor. If an exam question makes no sense, ask for clarification. Maintain your personal integrity. Do your own work and don't cheat. Most importantly, think positively. You studied and you worked hard. You know this stuff, so you will do fine on the test. The key to test success is actually quite simple. Study. Make sure you know your material. Read over your notes a few times. Study. Work on sample problems from a math class. Study. The more you review your material, the better you will do. Study.